This is the Benefits Buzz Podcast, your weekly pulse on what's happening in the world of employee benefits. Brought to you by your friends at WEX, who believe in simplifying benefits for everyone. Now listen up and let's get buzzed. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Benefits Buzz. I'm your host, Eric Piela. I'm joined as always by my co-host, Kelsey Burgett. Kelsey, we're talking about innovation, which I love innovation. I don't know if I'm the most innovative person, but there are so many innovative people that are out there. And innovation comes from everywhere, which I think, sometimes these organizations and companies have these innovative teams. But what we find, at least here at WEX, is that innovation comes from everywhere. Do you find yourself an innovative person, Kelsey?
I mean, I think a little bit, maybe not as innovative as our tech team, but that's what comes with working with a tech company. You're surrounded by innovative people. So maybe not the top tier, but I'm up there somewhere.
Yeah, I love that you rated yourself somewhere like the middle of the top. That's good. That's
it feels safe there.
It's like a humble brag, but I'm innovative.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Well, and I will say I'm really competitive. So if there's competition with innovation, I'm all in.
That's true. And what a great lead in. That was so smart. You're such a good co-host, Kelsey. We've got a great topic around innovation and a competition that we have here at WEX. And I can't wait to talk about how we are innovative here at WEX and how you as an HR pro can be innovative within your company. And people don't think of the, healthcare space as a super innovative industry, but I say, that's boo. We do tons of innovation here. And to talk about innovation, we got two wonderful guests. We've got Matt Delahan, he's your Senior Vice President of Strategy and Product Development here at WEX, and Ann Jensen, Senior Product Manager of User Experience at WEX. And Matt, welcome to Benefits Buzz.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, well, we're pumped to have you here. We're pumped to talk about innovation. And I want to talk about this. Kelsey did such a clever lead in. We talk about this innovation challenge we have, this competition that we have here at WEX. And I know you're one of the people, you guys are both around the people behind that challenge. And I love to hear, how did this innovation challenge get started? And really, what was behind it? What was the purpose of this innovation challenge?
Well, sure. And you guys hit the nail on the head right away when you said, hey, everybody needs to innovate, right? It can't be just like, oh, that team over there, they're responsible for coming up with the good ideas. I think that's a way companies really kind of get stagnant and start slowing down when you say, it's somebody else's job. And so I was literally on a plane and I was thinking about this problem. And I was like, gosh, how do we do a better job at this? I think we've got a lot of smart people in this company and the best in the business. And so how do we reach out to folks to find out, what they're thinking about, what their ideas are? And so that was sort of the initial concept. And then, I was thinking about hackathons, right? A lot of companies have those, and typically those are limited to the tech team. And I was thinking to myself, I really don't want this to be just something that is, part of the tech team where they write some code. And because great ideas are awesome and fun, but if they're not practical operationally, or we're not able to sell them, or we're not able to market them effectively, what good does it do us? And so that was where this idea of kind of a cross-functional team kind of came from, was to say, look, tech is one piece of it, but really, does it work financially? Does it work from a marketing perspective? Does it work from a sales perspective? So let's get everybody involved. And our idea was, right, I've said this before, I wanted a developer in Fargo working with like a salesperson in California or, the East Coast or something like that. They'd never met before. And that to me was like a home run for how this would go.
That's awesome. I mean, you always think that technology or technologically advanced people, or the people who are in the technology every day, are going to be the ones who are focused on the innovation and coming up with the new ideas. But I mean, I love the stance that it could be the person on the phone, talking to a participant. It could be the person who's behind the scenes, like working on the claims process, that's coming up with, hey, I could make this better if we just did X, Y, or Z. So smart to bring different people from different backgrounds, different areas together to really come up with these cool concepts, to innovate as a company, especially like Eric said, I mean, in healthcare, where we're probably seen as almost like the dinosaur, you know what I mean? But I think WEX is a really, really innovative company. And I think this innovation challenge is one of the reasons why. So let's dig a little bit deeper. Matt, tell us how it works. How do people participate? Like, what is all involved in this challenge?
Sure, sure. So, we typically run it for about, I think it usually lasts about 8 weeks. We've done it 3 times so far, and it consists of 2 phases. First is the ideas phase, and that's really where folks are, on their own, and they submit their idea, and there's no limit to the number of ideas folks can submit. So, they say, hey, here's my thought, and they provide a brief description on what they're thinking about, how it could work, etc. And then from there, we typically narrow it down to about the top 10. There's a judging panel that's cross-functional. So folks from product, tech, all across the organization sit on that committee. And we narrow it down to, the top 10 ideas. And then they move on to the next phase, which is what we call our POC phase, or our proof of concept phase. And that's where they're challenged to come up with, a working prototype of their idea. To the extent that they can. Sometimes some of the ideas we get are more, kind of new business type things, but to the extent that there's technology involved, we really want to see some sort of a working prototype if we can. And really the only limitation on it is, and this isn't much of a limitation, is it has to be able to help a consumer, an employer, or a partner get better at what they do. And as long as it meets those criteria, we're all in on it. And have to say, it's been a blast. The first year when folks showed up and started presenting their ideas and talking about their ideas, I was really blown away, because I always knew we had an awesome team here at Wex Health, but the ideas that people came up with, I was just blown away. And it was really validating for why we were running it, and the fact that, yeah, there's something here, and we need to keep doing this.
I bet that's so energizing. I'm officially raising my hand. I volunteer as panel judge, because I bet it's so energizing to hear all the ideas and innovation coming out of the team.
Well, I think you should be on an innovation team, Kelsey. You're kind of that mid to top tier, you said, with your innovation skills. So I
was giving myself a lot of credit. You better put me with some really smart people.
Absolutely. No, this is great. And I love to hear origin stories. And it's always like, I was on a plane. And I thought to myself, like, how many great ideas didn't happen when no one was traveling for COVID-19 and there's no one on a plane? So where did these great ideas come from? But anyway, that's so cool. And I love to hear, again, just to hammer that home, I love the concept of bringing everyone on board with it, right? And your mission is it has to help our customer, our partner, our consumer, anyone who leverages our technology platform. And I think that's a great, North Star. Which is
fantastic. And I should have mentioned, it is a competition, right? And so there's cash prizes. And the best part about prizes is fabulous cash prizes. The best part about that was we announced the cash prizes before I had actually secured the budget to be able to pay the cash prizes. So we're
that's how you get buy-in.
It's into our 8-week thing, and I called my boss at the time. And I said, "Oh yeah, by the way, I promised people money for these great ideas, so we needed to find some money." So it's like all great startup stories, we didn't have the money, we just had a great idea.
I love it. That's like the trifecta, right? You're doing something to help the customers, right? So you have the intrinsic and altruistic, right, benefit. You've got the competition part of it, right? Which is always a great motivator. Oh, and by the way, we're going to dangle a carrot, which is some cash prizes, which is all the good stuff needed for a lot of great innovation. So what's the feedback then, right? And hopefully the HR pros are listening, thinking I wonder how we could do this within our own company. But before we get there, is this been something that people are adopting, right? Is it kind of build it and they will come? What's been the feedback? What's been the interest, and how has it kind of evolved over the last couple of years?
The feedback by and large has been really, really good. I mean, I think, other than a couple hyper competitive folks who may or may not have been on the product team participating and didn't win, who they never let me forget that they didn't win. But no, I mean, it's been really good.
You're talking about our other guests here.
I'm not talking about our other guests.
I won. I always win, so it's not me.
Yeah. I won't name any names.
That's why I'm here.
Tinder's name actually comes to mind as somebody who, who gave me a really hard time about. But anyway, no, and the feedback's been really good. I think the opportunity to work with other people, right? So we had one technology person. I can't remember who it was, but when it came time for So there's a final Shark Tank like pitch that they have to make for their idea, right? And so that's where the cross-functional piece of this comes into play. And so they have to put together a marketing plan. To the extent that they can, they have to put some pricing together for how they think this should be priced. And one of the technology guys said, gosh, I'm really glad I do what I do. I didn't realize how hard that other stuff was. And I really appreciated the opportunity to work with people who were so professional and so good at these other things, because I had no idea what all went into figuring out, how are we going to distribute this, or how are we going to promote this? How are we going to price this? Like, it was just I think really an eye-opening experience for everybody who's participated. And like I said, I feel like, it's for me getting, and the rest of the judging team and the rest of the organization, just getting a sense for, gosh, we've got some really, really smart people in this company. And when we put them together to work together, they can do just amazing things. And so it's been, the feedback's been really good. And participation has been really, really great. One of the challenges with it is, there's just not a great time to do it. We're either, going into open enrollment or coming out of open enrollment, or, hey, it's vacation time and how are we going to get our team together? And so everybody always wants more time to work on their ideas. But, I think that urgency that comes with a deadline really helps as well. So, I mean, I think the Innovation Challenge has been great, but really I should ask Anne, you've participated in this a few times. What do you think?
I have, yes. And I think I've won every time. Maybe not every time, but I've had some good luck. It's been amazing, the Innovation Challenge. I think really a couple things that you guys hit on, right? Like, I'm super competitive. So I love joining these challenges and competing against others in the organization to innovate. The other piece that Matt talked about is like connecting with other people in the organization. So on the Smartscan innovation that we're going to talk a little bit more about, I worked with a developer in St. Louis, Jack Miller. So we made those connections, right, across the organization, very much like Matt talked about. And it was really cool to be on a team a cross-functional team, and to get to know people in other parts of the organization.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's my favorite part, at your convincing me to sign up for the Innovation Challenge for next year. And I hope that all of those HR pros listening are thinking, how do we start this up at our company? Because it's not just successful in one area. I imagine that this could work for any business, any industry. But you touch a little bit on something that we're going to talk about here in a second, which is our EOB Smartscan. But what other products, like what are some things that we now have in place today within our tech stack that came out of this challenge? What are some products and features that we have?
Sure. Yeah, I'm really excited to say we've run 3 innovation challenges, and 2 of the 3 winners are actually in the product right now. And so that, I think that's another part of the success, honestly. It's like, it's one thing to ask people to take the time to do this. And again, fabulous cash prizes, who doesn't like that? But then to kind of take it that final step and say, yeah, we're going to make an investment in you and your idea and put it in the product. I really think that makes a huge difference, because it's not just ideation for the sake of ideation. It's your team is going to make an imprint on our product. And I think that's huge. So the chatbot, Let's Chat, was the winner of our first innovation challenge. We've seen some other ideas that have been pitched in the challenge that are sort of in flight right now, and I don't want to give away too many details around that. One of them is actually a pretty big strategy that we're working on, that's kind of taken on a little bit of a life of its own. So I'd say, gosh, I mean, 2 that are in product, and probably at least another 2 to 3 that are in flight, or we've kind of done in some way, shape, or form. And the third winner, or the winner of the second one that we haven't implemented yet, that's something that is in our roadmap and something that we want to do. Actually, I think we've run challenge 4 times now. I take that back. I've been online. And the winner of year 4 is in the product roadmap, and something that we're looking to kick off next year. So I just think that's critical. I think it's critical to follow through and implement that stuff and have it become a reality for folks.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the rubber meets the road, right? Like, I mean, no wonder why this gains momentum, because when they start seeing their ideas, not only it's cool to get the cash prize, but it's also cool, like, hey, I was part of the idea. It's in the product now, and it's helping customers and employers. Like, that's awesome, right? And it's got to be awesome. If I put myself in the shoes of an HR pro, this has got to be like employee engagement and retention gold, right? Like, making sure that they feel like this is something I'm contributing to. I'm an active voice in where the product is going. I get to work with other people on the team who I maybe don't usually work with. Like, this has got to be great, right?
Absolutely. No question.
Love it. All right, and let's shift to a bit about this EOB that you talked about, the Smartscan capture. You were one of the key members that was part of that. Can you kind of talk through, that process, the ideation, and maybe just for those who don't understand, what is this EOB Smartscan and which we've been kind of referencing?
Yeah, absolutely. So the idea that I had that really came to light for me, just to kind of give you a little bit of background, is, and I actually remember the exact moment where I thought of this idea when I was like, I just want to take a picture and file this claim.
And were you on a plane? Were you on a plane? And the idea?
I was
No?
actually sitting right in this living room
Okay,
where
okay.
I am right now.
That was
So
worth a
like
shot.
right over there, I was sitting right there, and I remember the moment that I was like, I need the easy button. But I actually I was suffering from back pain. I'm sure Matt remembers this, when I would stand in meetings and I couldn't sit. So I was going to neurologists and physical therapists and pain doctors. And I had all of my EOBs. I remember I had all of them, and I was filing the claims. And when you're in pain, the last thing you want to do is try to figure out, how do I get my money out? And so I was like, I just want to take a picture of this and file my claim. And that's really where that idea came from. So basically what it is Smartscan, you can take a picture of your EOB with the mobile app. It's going to take the data off of that explanation of benefits and actually create the claim for you. So there's just like no thought at all involved. So just really excited about seeing that come to light, and where that idea started, and now seeing it in the mobile app today.
So cool. Yeah, I mean, EOBs are not the most easy thing to decipher.
No.
So anything that makes that process just a little bit simpler for the consumer is all the better. You've already touched on, the ability to work with the gentleman from St. Louis, I think you said, and collaborating with people across teams. You've already talked about the fact that you remember exactly where you were when the idea sparked. But are there any other memorable moments from the entire Innovation Challenge process when you were working on that Smartscan?
I remember, and again, a lot happens in this living room, actually, apparently. I do remember we would be sitting late at night, like working on our PowerPoint in this, and I'd be actually one of the other members of my team. Amy Stark is actually my sister who works for WEX. And we would be on the phone, like working on our PowerPoint, talking about, how is this going to help our consumers and our employers and our partners? So I remember those nights, and it was actually, I know it sounds like, oh, you were working at night, but it was a lot of fun, and really motivating to do this. So I remember that particular process, as well as like collaborating as a team. And I shouldn't leave out Stephanie Kramer. She was also on the team. It was a team of 4, an amazing team that brought Smartscan to life.
Well, they'll be glad that you're name dropping them when they watch this episode, and make sure you take all
Exactly.
the credit in. Oh, that's fantastic. So, I mean, I have to ask you, like, I know you've been, I can tell you're kind of beaming with pride a little bit because it's super exciting. So what did it mean to you, Ann, to kind of see this whole process work, and then to see it come to life in the product, and kind of eventually seeing what kind of impact it's going to have on, on employers out there and consumers using the product?
Yeah. I think when I thought of the idea, you never think it's maybe possible. You're like, this is such a great idea, but can you make it work? And going through the process with our developers and our mobile team to actually bring this to light, and even just, working on the feature as we're, before we release it, with the team, is just, being with it throughout the whole process was just really incredible. And it's, I remember I opened up our app on my phone, and I was like, it's there. Like, this is my idea in the mobile app. This is absolutely amazing. And now I can use it, and other people can use it, right? Because I really do think, from like a user perspective, this is going to make things so much easier for them, when they're filing their claims or trying to figure out an explanation of benefits. So it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So cool.
One of the things that was really cool too is, we had the opportunity to be an early adopter of some new AI technology around kind of form recognition and data recognition. And then we were able to take that and it must be really cool for you to see, we went live with 15 different carriers just a couple months ago, back in July. And so, the team worked really hard to say, all right, well, how do we prioritize these, and who are some of the biggest, most popular carriers that we can support out there, and we'll continue to add to that. And so, we think this is just the beginning of this. There's some really cool ideas around how we might be able to extend this and think about automating the claims process a little bit more, kind of using this technology foundationally. So, I mean, it truly is, there was a kernel of an idea that started to come to life, and we've got, I think, pretty big plans for where we can take this. So super cool stuff.
So Matt, I have to know, is that why this idea stuck out to you, and maybe comparison to some of the others that were in the challenge that year? Or what about this idea was like, well, this is it, this is the one?
Yeah, I mean, it was that. I think, it's an awesome demo. And, so when we were thinking about, taking this to the market and standing on the stage at Spark, I guess it was Partner Conference at the time, or Spark, and showing this off, I'm like, this thing's going to sell itself. And then when we thought about, the opportunity to, continue to do work with AI, which, we had started with Let's Chat the prior year. I mean, it was just a home run. It really was a no-brainer that year to pick this one as our winner. I don't want to let it go to Ann's head, but
too late. I think she's pretty.
Becky's gonna be so mad.
Well, it sounds like to me that you've secured your spot for a season 5 episode of Benefits Buzz, because I'm still thinking in the back of my mind about these ones that are in development that we don't know about yet. I still want to know what they are. So you'll be back.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
probably Ann's idea, and she's just not
It is,
doing anything.
of course.
So mental note, get on Ann's team when I sign up for okay, got it. This is fantastic. I want to thank you both. I hope not lost, and this is a really super cool feature and something that I'm sure everyone who in the HR space can relate to, but I hope not lost in this example is really the concept as an innovation challenge. And I think, we talked about at the beginning of the show, there's just so many great things that can come from this in terms of advancing your organization, building cohesion amongst employees, and really just that retention and really feeling part of something bigger than themselves, which I think is always something that HR pros are looking for their employees. So thank you so much for sharing our innovation challenge. Thank you, Ann, for sharing some of the cool ideas you came up with that really hit home in terms of our space, and I think probably for HR pros as well. So thank you for coming on the show. Awesome episode. And we'll look forward to maybe hearing about next season what innovation challenge winner was next year. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody. This was great.
WEX is in the business of simplifying benefits for everyone. Now, although we certainly hope our podcast sparks some aha moments, like that was pretty cool, but of course we cannot provide legal, investment, or financial advice. And, well, therefore, nothing shared in this podcast should be interpreted as such. We encourage you to seek out appropriate professional advice regarding your plans. Hey, congratulations! You made it through our disclaimer. Thanks for listening.